everyone, my name is Ashley Dawn and welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you are here listening to this video and message today. Today, I would like to go over the 5 top things that I have to explain usually in a mediumship session. Now, these are probably questions that you've all had or things that you've always wondered about. It may have to do with how this works or what really happens to our loved ones and all kinds of little things like that. But first and foremost, if this is something that you know you're already interested in, please like and subscribe below. I absolutely love and appreciate your support. It allows me to continue to do what I love doing, which is helping you along your healing journey. So let's dive in. Number 1, when your loved one is at the very moment of their end and they are dying, okay, there is no suffering. Okay, so I have people that come in and they're very upset with the idea that their loved one really suffered or was in pain or things like that in their very last moments. Okay, so let me explain. That is not how it works. So let's say your loved one had a very tragic death, a car accident, a gunshot wound, or something where you know that they were suffering and in pain in those very last moments, okay? They do not suffer and they're not in pain because we're here to learn lessons. And by age 3, I mean, even babies, right, have experienced pain, suffering, and panic. We've all experienced that. So there is no lesson to be learned. There is no reason why we need to experience that in that moment. So this is what happens. They will, okay, so you have your physical body and you have your mental, emotional, and spiritual light body, your soul, okay? Your soul is inside your physical body. So in those last moments, the soul recognizes that the physical body, our little costume human shell, is not going to survive this situation, and it is time to exit. So your soul will exit out of your physical human body. And so that your loved one can see everything that's going on. They can hear everything that you've said. They can watch what's going on. They're a part of it, but they are not suffering and in pain anymore. What happens is a walk-in angel steps into their physical body. Okay, so yes, there is an angel that will come and step into the physical body so that the lights are on, but nobody's home. This allows the physical body to continue shutting down, but without causing pain and suffering, because a walk-in angel, an angel was not human. They're of 7th dimension divine light and love and purity, and they do not experience physical pain. Okay, so they just step in, keep the lights on until the physical body shuts down. Okay, so your loved one heard everything that you had to say. They saw everything that kind of went on, and they can be a part of it, but there's no pain, suffering, or panic, no matter what it looks like. Okay. The other thing is that your other loved ones, their friends, family, things like that will come to greet them so that there's no confusion, and they can then, when they're ready, which is usually a couple hours to a couple days, because they may want to, sometimes they like to be around because everybody's thinking about them, and every time you think about your loved one, it's like you're calling them. So when everybody's thinking about them, they're still very much a part of the process, of the funeral, of all of that. Okay. So usually after a couple of days, they'll then decide to go with their other family members and friends that have crossed over, and they will cross over fully like that, okay? So there is no pain and suffering. Number 1, walk-in angels exist. Your loved ones did not suffer in pain at the moment of their death and crossing over, okay? Number 2, everyone gets into heaven. Okay, so I'm going to use the term heaven because that's the closest thing and the closest description I have. Okay, I know that that can be almost like it may not fit everybody's beliefs or religion, so keep a little bit of open mind, because I don't have another word to just one word say the location where we go when we're no longer physically human. Okay, so I'm going to use the word heaven, but don't get hung up on that. So Everybody goes to heaven. Remember, we are here to have experiences. We are here to learn. How do you learn? We learn by observing others. We learn by making choices. Sometimes you make good choices on a test. Sometimes you make bad choices on a test. Sometimes you pass. Sometimes you don't. You fail the test, right? But it doesn't mean that you don't get to continue going to school. It doesn't mean that you don't ever get to get your driver's license. That's not how it works. You get to practice and try again. There may be repercussions from your bad choices, but there's not like there's nothing that you can do where, a source is going to be like, well, you done crapped the bed. Sorry about your luck. You made a poor choice or decision, and you're going to have to suffer for eternity in hell. That is not how it works. That is a human concept, okay? That is not real, okay? So I hope I'm not offending people and their belief systems. I'm just telling you like it is, and I'm trying to be very honest with you, and I'm repeating what my guides and what your people's past loved ones explained to me. And I think this is really important because I have so many clients that come in and they're very upset because their loved one committed suicide, or their loved one was still an addict, or their loved one, let's say, wasn't of their family's religion, and they're terrified thinking that their loved one isn't going to go where the rest of them are, isn't going to go to heaven or things like that. That is not how it works, okay? You get to make mistakes here. We have free will choices. That is part of learning. And sometimes we make really stupid mistakes that really cause a lot of harm and suffering for us and other people. That doesn't mean that mistake or that choice that you never get to come back from that, okay? That's odd. When you really think about it, it's a very strange concept, right? The other thing I need to explain is that there's such thing as Akashic records, meaning that there are records of everything that you've done in past lives. And let's say you sign up for certain lessons here, and you incarnate as a human being to have these experiences here, okay? So let's say you need to experience a deep unconditional love. And there is no greater bond between two human beings than a mother and a child, okay? So you want to experience unconditional love, you have to then be a female and then get pregnant and have a baby. So you could not have learned what it's like to have those deep motherly instincts of unconditional love unless you experienced that, okay? So I'm just using an example, but my point is that we sign up for things to experience here, and they might not always be positive. They might be that you need to experience what it is to be an addict. They might be that particular loved one needed to experience what it's like to take their own life, what it's like to live a life of some suffering, consequences and stuff like that. And they may be pulling some things in from another lifetime where they still have these doubts or insecurities and fears that they were supposed to clean up here. Now we have free will choices. Our guides will help us stay on track, but we have free will choices. It could be that we were supposed to be on the straight and narrow and we totally took a hard left turn and became an addict for a couple years in these really struggling, hard chapters in life. Sometimes that was an actual thing that we signed up to do because we were meant to get clean and help other people through it and be of service, right? Or it had nothing to do with our plan and we totally made a weird left turn and it took us a long time to get back, but we are smarter and wiser for it. Even if that was not a part of the plan and it was a mistake, we still learned. It helped mold us to who we are, and you are a beautiful divine being, no matter what choices you've made, okay? So everybody gets to go to heaven. It doesn't work like that. Okay, number 3. When we cross over, and again, I'll use the term heaven, when we cross over and your loved one is in heaven, everyone goes through something called a review process, okay? Let me make this very clear. This is not about punishment. Again, that is a human thing. When you punish somebody, your intention is to cause harm, okay? When you correct somebody or when you discipline someone, it is with the intention to educate, to show them that there are repercussions and they need to be more careful, right? It is not to cause harm. So when we cross over and we go through a review process, this is to learn, okay? It is not to punish. So you basically sit and you go through this binge watch of your Netflix version of your whole life, okay? And again, it's not about, nobody stands next to you saying, oh, well, you messed up right there. Shame on you. You should have done better. That's not what it's for, okay? It's so that we can learn. You come up to an impasse and your guides are sitting there with you and they're like, all right, here's all the choices you had. Here was the best choice. Here was the worst choice. This is the one you made. It's not wrong. It's not right. We're just showing you every time that you had a choice to make, every time that you could have stayed on the path and you took a weird left turn, or every time that you came up to this impasse, this is what you chose. It's so that you can see all of the options, good, bad, and everything in between, right? It's not about judgment, okay? Again, your mistakes have value. They are beautiful usually. They can be super harsh and tragic, but usually beauty comes from that because we learn and we become wiser and we grow, right? So the mistakes are not about punishment, okay? Here's the other thing. When we go through that review process, we have to sit back and Netflix watch our whole lives, but we also have to experience it from the other side. Meaning, if I was having an argument with somebody and I was being very nasty and I hurt their feelings, I get to experience it this time in their shoes, right? So I have to know what they felt like. I have to feel that. If I'm sitting there watching the Netflix version of my life and I was kind of being a little, behind, little rear end, I'm going to have to experience that. I'm going to have to see what it felt like and how I hurt their feelings. Because again, it's not about punishment, but it's about me understanding what I said or what I did and how it affected other people. And that's just learning, right? So yes, we go through a review process. And that process also is very important because it helps us or your loved ones detach from their human form, meaning that we play this character, okay, this role as a human being, but that is not who we are. Those are character traits. Those are things we've learned through our cultures, through our families, through our traumas and experiences, but that is not our light body being. That is not who we are. So it helps us to detach and really accept our new form, which is a light body being, okay? So as we sit through the whole process of the review, we get to see and experience, this was me as the character and role I played, and which is different than who I am now, which is my divine light, okay? So it also is a very important process, not just for learning, but to actually kind of separate the two out, and then go back into your true form, which is your light body form, okay? Which brings me to number 4, okay? Number 4 is who I am speaking to when I'm doing a mediumship session is your loved one's purest, most divine light body form. It is their true self. It is their true soul, okay? It is not the addict, the grumpy, the cold-hearted, rude person, let's say, that you remember, okay? That was their human character. Everybody is divine light. Everybody has a beautiful light soul, okay? Being human is hard, and sometimes it hardens that up a little bit, but that's not who they are, okay? So sometimes they will show me true to character and true to form traits, like they will be funny and they will be hyper and they will say things that, would have been something that they totally would have said, right? They will be true to form because that's how you remember them and that's how you related to them, right? But they will also come up with things that are this beautiful, loving message. And sometimes it throws people off because they're like, oh, they would never have said that. That doesn't sound like them at all, right? But remember, I am talking to their beautiful, pure light body form, that beautiful being inside, right? Their true form. So that's who I am communicating with. And it's not necessarily the human. The human is no longer in physical form and has detached, right? They're no longer that character. They're their light body, if that makes sense. And number 5, the last thing, and I really hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings or offend anybody. That is not my intention at all. I am just repeating what my guides have explained to me and what past loved ones have explained to me, okay? So number 5 is going to a graveyard to pay your respects, we'll say, that's a term, right? To visit your loved one's grave, okay? They think that that is very strange. That's a very human thing to do, okay? And this is why. I explained that our human shell, our costume, right, has no real value. It is not your soul. It is not your mental, emotional, or spiritual self. It is not your true form. It is just a character. It's just a costume, right? So it's when your costume is finished and you're done and you have died and you've crossed over, they actually refer to graveyards as body junkyards. They're just junkyards. They're just like in the ground junkyards. They aren't there. That's why they say that. They're like, what? They don't understand why we go there. And okay, so let me explain it further, because they're telling me like to explain this part, okay? So when you go to a grave site, people go there to grieve. They are sad. They cry. Funerals happen there. And it's just this very low vibration, very heavy, okay? And when you go there to do those things, it lowers your vibration. You are filled with sadness and you're frustrated that they're not there with you, and you're grieving, and you're maybe angry at people for not being there at the funeral or for causing the situation or whatever, right? You are experiencing all these heavy, dark, negative feelings in a place that has for years had many thousands of people going there to do the same thing. So the energy of the place that you walk into and then you yourself contribute to is very heavy or negative or just low frequency. And when you feel those emotions, you lower your own light. You shrink your light body, making it difficult for your loved one to connect with you. Okay, this is why your loved ones love holidays and positive things. They love holidays and birthdays and things like that, because the more positive and happy you are, the brighter your light shines and the easier it is to kind of connect with you. Okay, so every time you think about them and talk to them, they connect with you. So they're like, why would you go there when you could just look at a photo of me, when you could just talk to me in your car on your way home from work, when you could just laugh and say, oh my gosh, do you remember when Uncle Joe used to say, you can do that, and it's positive and it's beautiful, right? So they don't understand why we continuously go there to do that. Now, before I even said anything, I said, I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings, because I know that for some people, it does make them better to feel better to go there. And this may be religious. It may be part of your belief system. You may need to go and feel that you're doing something of purpose or value. Okay, so I'm not saying anything negative about that. Always do what makes you feel best, but do not feel like you have to go there because of them. Don't feel like you need to go there to pay respects. Do not feel guilty if you haven't mustered enough, strength to go there. They're not upset with you. They don't know why people go there in the first place, okay? So don't feel like you have to go there every birthday, every holiday, right? That is a human thing. That is a programmed thing from religion and cultures and belief systems, okay? It's not necessary is what I'm saying. Can you go? Sure. Is it necessary? No. If you want to be close to them, just think about them. Just talk to them. Look at a photo, listen to their favorite song, things like that, okay? Because that's positive stuff, right? Okay, so I hope that I explained that honestly and openly. And of course, with all of my videos, my intention is always to shed light on really positive and beautiful things that will help you along your healing journey, that will explain things in a deeper level so that you yourself can heal and raise your vibration. That is always my intention. And in fact, it is my life purpose to help people do that. And I cannot do that unless you're here with me sharing this beautiful video. So if this video spoke to you, please share it to other loved ones. If it's something that is interesting to you, please like and subscribe below, because I do these videos at least once a week. And I just really hope that somebody needs to hear this, right? So these were the 5 things that really come up often in a mediumship session. So I hope that this was exactly what somebody needed to hear. And as always, love and light, my friends.